the open market and get that. He may get.
What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys,
this year for him,
this literally does not work. Man, we are here getting ready for the Dan Selio show. Get ready to go into the studio right now. I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. I got to be honest, got to be real, got to keep it 100. I am kind of pissed off right now. As I look around the NFL and I see where players are holding in, where they're getting deals done and so on, to know that my Dallas Cowboys have done absolutely nothing, that we've been down this same route before over and over and over again, and yet we still do the same thing. So let me go ahead and get in the studio. Last week, I got in the studio like 10 minutes early, and Dan throws me in there. And I see there's a lot of rabid fans. I see over 300 people in his stream already. So let's see how well it does. Make sure you hit the like button here. And here we go.
Like if Dean sucks, and you draft a linebacker this coming year and he turns out to be good, you cover that. What you don't ever want to do is
Dean.
Shit in free agency.
Okay.
Because you lose the rookie equity of the contract. You lose all of that. Stoutland, you going to get him right, Sills. I'd like to see Tyler Steen. Kenny Pickett fits our new OC better than Jalen. And he will show how dynamic this offense can be if you can spread the ball around. Okay? Imagine hating on a second-string rookie. Who am I hating on now? You know what? You know what really sucks? 90% of you that are in here that moan and cry and bitch could never be coached. Because coaches you think go, hey, JB, can you please do me a favor? Please not get your water now because we're in the middle of individual dwells.
What?
And then
Individual dwells?
Pass pro.
What individual dwells?
It would be okay if we sat around with our whoopies and everything will be all right.
What the hell?
Okay? Baby boy, where? Are you all right? I don't want anybody feeling what.
What the?
I surely wish that was that way, but I don't remember Coach Johnson in my ear like that. Hey, I don't. Hey, are you all right? Here's how JB wants to be coached.
He's making me laugh when I want to be pissed off.
How can you say those things about my third-team cornerback?
It sounds nice, Dante.
So worried about? Why be so mean? Hey, dude, do you think this is like kindergarten or something? You think these coaches walk out there and go like this, give a shit about your feelings? Line up, fuck you, play. You get paid on Tuesday.
Take your asthmatic ass over to the other field.
Fuck about pussies, man. I mean, what? Hey, before I bring in Mark Holmes, man, I bet that's how they talk to him over there. Okay. Then again, wait a minute. He went to the same school that Charles Haley went to. So they had to do a little bit of barking at that school. So I gotta hang on here, man. Like a what? I cannot believe everybody gonna be mean. Hey, Nick's got to also fit into his new role of this new called CEO guy.
He's gonna make me laugh. I want to laugh. I don't know if Philly will be joining today or not because he's in and out.
Some of you guys love to be coached. So again, Hertz 4K, 25 plus touchdowns, 500 rushing. Barkley 9. Get this. Before I bring 500 in too. Okay? The greedy Stephen Jones just pushed Jerry to take the bastard daughter out of the will.
Oh,
hey, come on, man.
Come on,
I'm
man.
not going down that road. Yeah. So wait a minute. Before I get Philly 500 in here, I said that Barkley will get 950 yards rushing and 450 yards receiving, which would be 1,500 yards. I say he plays 15 games. You're trying to tell me you wouldn't want a running back that gives you a game where he's averaging over 100 yards in total offense and gives you a touchdown every game, and you think that's fucking not productive? And he's one of the best pass pro running backs? How is that not productive? He'll give you more total yards in a game most of the time as an average for an entire season.
I'm not feeling this today, guys. I'm not a happy camper.
What are you talking about? That's how you make that guy productive. Both your running backs the last 2 years averaged 1,200 yards. They weren't an integral part of that offense. This guy can be.
Come on, Dan. Here we go.
Today's the first day of training camp. And the Cowboys, once again, talking money. The Eagles, in that presser thing where they had made sure that Nick Sirianni's feelings were good. Let's bring in the two living legends. The man who covers the Dallas Cowboys on one of the top networks for Cowboy fans. Our man, Mark Holmes. Hey, wake up, guy. It's Cowboy season. And the man, the myth, the legend who covers the Philadelphia Eagles, always punching and juking and moving. Philly 500. Here we go.
I call Babyface Assassin. That's my boxing name. That's right. What's happening? Big Sills.
What is going on?
Underway. Welcome. Good morning, Mark Holmes. Just woke up and got out
It's
of bed.
afternoon, Philly.
Well, what the hell? You sleeping all day?
No, actually,
like
I got up early. I actually went up early and went to my day job, busted ass to make sure I would be here. You know, I didn't have any graduations or birthday parties. I came in here, even though I ain't got jack shit positive to say. Nothing.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Wait a minute. You have to have this to say.
What?
CD doesn't want to show up to camp because he doesn't have a deal.
Yeah. You know, you're good friends with Stephen Jones, aren't you? Can you actually ask him what the fuck is he doing? I mean, I'm being honest with you, because it's not like this is anything new that a player wants to get paid. For whatever reason, the Dallas Cowboys make you feel bad about wanting to get paid.
The Cowboys think he's not better than Justin Jefferson.
But you know what's stupid? Is they took Michael Gallup, who had a 1,100 yard season, followed it up with an 800 yard season, followed it up with a 460 yard season, tore his ACL and said, hey, let's pay him $50 million while he's recovering. Right?
Well, you didn't have the dynamic of having to pay Dak 60 and the other guy.
You know what? I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, because
you're talking about 150 to 100.
I hear what you're saying, but you know what's crazy is, and I'm not here to praise the Eagles, but as you've gone through and have two wide receivers that are being paid in the top 10, as you've already paid your franchise quarterback, as you've gotten your offensive line and stuff together, as you go out there and sign a running back and so on, that you don't have a single player on your roster whose cap number is over $16 million. That Justin Jefferson, be it his contract is a lot of money, but Justin Jefferson, who came in the same year as CeeDee Lamb, okay, $35 million a year, dropped his cap number down to $8 million this year, $15 million next year, and only $38 year 3, where after that year they could let him go with only a $14 million dead money hit.
This is what you're fucking talking about today?
Yeah, well, we haven't practiced yet.
How is this even a thing on July 24th?
How is it? The only weapon we have is not in freaking camp.
You can't be talking business right now going into fucking camp.
That's the problem. He's not in camp, Dan. He's not in freaking camp.
Why didn't you address it in February?
That's why I want you to ask Stephen Jones. Why hasn't he addressed it?
fair
Because
enough.
he's
Okay.
Hey, Philly, it stinks
Yes.
that Cooper DeJean may be out a month.
that's a horrible break. It's going to put this kid. He's going to be playing catch up the whole year probably. I don't like it. But I got to tell you, I'm enjoying these Cowboy tears.
You're going to see a lot of them for a bit.
I just don't know what all the crying is for now. I mean, I've been saying this all year. Dallas ain't going to sign these guys. They're not paying these guys. This should not be a surprise at all to Cowboy fans to act like all of a sudden, whoa, Dallas didn't get their guys signed. They've been doing this all year.
I know.
They're going to collapse that team, man.
No, they'll end up doing it eventually after it's hurt the team. That's what just pisses me off.
But why always? But they always do that, and then it's like what are you going to have? A highest paid quarterback, the highest paid receiver, and the highest paid defensive player?
Bro, you know how the contracts work. You know, or at least I think you do.
How is Jerry Jones a Hall of Fame owner?
He got lucky.
I know how they work.
I tell you what, they got lucky with the Herschel Walker trade.
I don't allow my quarterback to have a $59 million, $55 million cap hit.
That goes on Stephen Jones.
Mark, you know what? You didn't get lucky with the Herschel Walker.
The Herschel Walker trade. You know what? You had everything go right.
What? Okay, fair enough.
Okay, you had Jimmy Johnson. You had that Herschel Walker trade. You drafted well.
You had Trey Lance. They gave 3 ones up, and it failed.
Yes.
You know what Jimmy did? Jimmy made 51 deals inside of 5 years.
He got a number one for Steve Walsh.
All the teams combined in the NFL. And you know what he did? He landed on them all.
Yeah.
So what has Jones done in 30 years except this shit here? Dude, you know how it's frustrating talking about the Cowboys now because you know why? I find myself doing a circle.
I'm pulling my hair out, bro.
It's like a circle jerk. You're doing the same shit over and over every year with the same
and expecting a different result. I'm literally pulling my hair out. Seriously. It makes no sense whatsoever. You get Jerry Jones saying we're going all in, and Stephen Jones is really the one running it. It's just Jerry Jones, like you said, have some cotton candy, as you say, go sit in the corner. Stephen Jones is the one who doesn't want to pay people. And for everybody saying, well, Dak should take less money, Stephen Jones ain't going to spend it. Dak could say, I'll play for $1. He's not going to go out there and spend $54 million on players. He's going to be good. We got that money right there. It's just not.
Zeke is going to have to walk CeeDee Lamb through this. You remember how long it took for them to pay your running back just for him.
Zeke, Zach Martin, all of them.
All of them guys. Here, I want to throw this at you, though.
Emmitt Smith.
Here, let's go to Philly. Philly, that bullshit press conference today with that ESP dude who I can't stand.
ESP dude.
The first question out of the gate, how's your relationship with Jalen Hurts? It was contrived. It was pushed out. And let me give you some of the comments and responses that were said by Jalen Hurts. First, Nick said, I think our relationship's good. I think everything is working towards a right way. But check this out, Mark. Let me show you what the Eagles do. This is the Eagles PR team. When asked a question about his relationship, I trust Nick Sirianni to lead us in the right direction. Jalen Hurts would never say that. But Jalen Hurts would say this. If you want to know how Hurts responds and how he talks, he would say this, and I think this is it. When asked again about his relationship, I think we are in a good place. I think anytime you have as much frustration as we did a year ago, anytime you have adversity, you have to overcome it. You have to support one another and be on the same page. That's kind of an open-ended answer, and it's kind of a lawyer's answer because I think that's more him. So, I mean, why the most important thing is that you control the narrative. But Philly, I will say this, at least they addressed it so they can move on. And it's the first time I've ever heard Jalen Hurts say something positive about Nick. Have they put this shit behind him?
Yeah, of course. It's behind them. I mean, what they say to the media and what they're going to say to the media is, obviously not what goes on behind closed doors. I'm sure it was something that was probably squashed well before the initial uh, problem and it flared up. It was just the way Jalen Hurts put it. To me, I don't see the big deal. I mean, of course they're going to answer it a certain way, but as long as they're good to go, that's all I care about, my man. I think Jalen Hurts. I don't know, man. He's got a look. He's got the eye of the tiger, man.
He's got the look,
like,
he says.
He's got the look like he's getting ready to tear some shit up. That's what it looked like to me. I'm okay. I don't really care about how they answered that question. To be honest, I could care less. As long as they settled it between them two, that's all I care about.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Everybody's going to commend them for keeping that, squashing it in the media and stuff in house. But when that'll resurface if shit hits the fan. Winning cures everything, because they probably had problems before, but once you started going through that slide, that's when everybody gets a little bit irritated. You winning football games, hey, it ain't no problem. Everybody's happy. But if shit hits the fan, watch it resurface.
That happens on any team, on any losing streak, any debacle, especially the way things fell apart last year. I mean, that, are you saying that they're holding resentments towards each other and it's just a matter of
I just think
I don't think so.
But wait a minute, Philly, I think they've gone out of their way to make sure that everyone understood Nick Sirianni's feelings when you and me and anybody, and Mark would even say, hey, I don't give a fuck about your feelings, dude. Let's go win some ball games.
Right.
No,
I don't have to be your friend. Look, you do your job and I'll do mine.
Probably how most of the players feel. I think that's how a lot of the fans feel. But I'm sure that the Eagles are trying to protect Nick Sirianni on some level, because it looks like, it looks like he lost a lot of power. And the way that whole thing was, what Jalen Hurts said, even though I don't think Jalen Hurts was intentionally trying to go after Nick Sirianni, but the way it came out, it looked bad. So I just think that's more of the Eagles and their PR trying to give something to Nick, because I mean Nick, he doesn't have the same power he had a year ago. I think it's a lot of nothing. Just go out, like you said, and play football. That's all we care about. Go win games.
But here's the thing, though. Here's what Jalen Hurts knows. Jalen Hurts knows I ain't going anywhere. I got this big ass contract and stuff. Nick Sirianni's the one that's on the hot seat. He's the one that's already been cut off at the knees and bringing in Kellen Moore, where they're literally like, you're not calling plays or anything like that. So, Jalen Hurts knows I can outlast this guy. So, I'm going to make sure I don't look like the bad guy.
I don't think he's thinking that at all. I think what he's thinking is, I got to go win games. It's a new season. Let's go play football. I mean, Jalen Hurts is not thinking that. He doesn't care. He's got to go win. If Jalen Hurts goes out and has the year that Jalen Hurts is trying to have, Nick Sirianni's job is going to be fine. So to me, I think it's a lot to do with nothing, to be honest.
You know what? As long as I'm getting $51 million and I'm getting direct deposits on Tuesday, I'm in Philly 500's camp with that one, because I don't really give a shit what that guy thinks or anyone else thinks, as long as that money is put in my account. Mark, I want you to help Philly on something, though.
Okay.
I want you to tell me if this is the same dynamic that you have that makes it a problem for your coaching staff in Dallas, that now you're seeing it's rearing its head in Philadelphia. So at the press conference today, I learned something that was very interesting. Howie Roseman came out in the press conference and said, when we were talking about looking for Quinyon Mitchell, the number one draft choice that they took at 22, and we were looking at him, and he was the guy that I was deciding on whether or not to take, I wanted to make sure that, we got all of our due diligence in. We wanted to get everything in there. And then he said this: it made me feel a little bit better after I made the pick, when Nick came to me and said, hey, I have a personal relationship with the head coach at Toledo, and it made me feel good about the pick. So am I under the assumption now that Howie doesn't confer with any of his coaches about the personnel he's going to put on the team, and that right there is something there that Nick had no impact? Howie said it at the press conference today, Philly. He said that at the press conference.
Yeah, but he didn't say it as in terms of after I made the pick. He said leading up to the pick that
he had a personal
made him
relationship with
that,
the coach.
yeah,
No, he said he had already had. He said he had a personal relationship already with the Toledo head coach.
Right, but Howie was saying that he talked to Nick about that, and Nick came to him before he made the pick.
That's not what he said in the press conference. He said in the press conference, I listened to it twice. He said it after the fact. He goes, it made me feel better about the pick.
About making the pick, not made the pick. But what I got out of that was it helped him to make the pick.
Wow.
That's what I
You know what this sounds like?
Not what I heard, but okay.
I tell you exactly what this feels like. As much as Eagle fans hate the Cowboys and things, is I feel like we're talking about when Jason Garrett was the head coach of the Cowboys. No, I mean, no, just hear me out here, because see, Jason Garrett originally was calling plays, and then the Cowboys were like, nah, bro, you're not calling plays anymore, and they literally cut him off at the knees. It got to the point where you were saying, what is Jason Garrett's role? What does he do? Because he wasn't picking the players. He's not the one doing it, and you've even admitted how your owner's son is with his analytics are forcing that into the game plan and things.
They do.
Okay, that's Cowboy-esque.
I mean,
Jerry Jones had the hotline from his suite down to the field, would call the field.
The difference, Mark, that the Eagles do versus the Cowboys, tell me if I'm wrong, Philly, is that they're doing football issues. You guys are doing financial issues. You guys are worried more about the bank accounts of your players than you are about the equity accounts.
They're doing all of the above.
You guys, I mean, productivity has to matter. In Philly, you get paid for being productive. In Dallas, you get paid for being a celebrity.
If that was the case, then CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons would have already gotten their thing.
I don't think they're that big of CD. I don't think they're that big of personalities. You put CeeDee Lamb in Tennessee, you wouldn't know who the fuck that guy's name is.
Micah Parsons, you certainly would.
Would you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
If I put Myles Garrett in Dallas, you know what you'd be calling him? You'd be calling him Reggie White.
Okay. Well, the media probably would be, because listen, we are a victim of our success as far as being popular.
Dude, your football team is based on popularity and not production.
Absolutely.
I mean, here, by the way, the regular season matters, Mark. It totally does, because players get paid on it.
Yeah.
They don't get paid on the postseason.
Well, don't tell him that too much, because he already doesn't value the postseason.
Oh, I do value the postseason, buddy. You got to understand, man. I grew up in the glory days of the Dallas Cowboys in the 70s. I'm old like Dan is here.
I think,
and I'm getting to be an angry old man waiting for the Cowboys to change, but they keep doing the same stupid shit, expecting a different result.
Question is how long will CeeDee Lamb be holding out? Like, because
at $50,000 a day.
This. If you go, let's say he goes all of training camp with holding out. That means, let's say he shows up week 1. Well, he ain't going to be ready. He's going to be on a limited snap count. He ain't going to be ready to play week 1. He's going to be on a limited snap count week 2. He's not going to be up to speed till week 4, week 5. Dallas is going to be hurting, losing games by then. It's over, man. Pull the plug, dunk them, tank them. Dallas is done.
They're not done. What's funny is huh?
Done.
5 wins.
No, dude. 5 wins. You're on crack there, buddy. Okay.
Okay, so if Lamb's not on that team for the first 8 games, how many wins you have?
The first 8 games, he'll be on there for the first 8 games, because he may hold out all training camp, but he ain't missing those game checks. Okay.
But even if he's there, let's say he's there week 1, he ain't going to be ready to go out there and take every snap with the offense. He ain't going to be up to speed.
We don't know what's going to happen. Well, here's what I know. Within 3 weeks, it'll be done.
3 weeks, it's going to be
within
done.
3 weeks, if not sooner. It was 2 weeks last year with Zach Martin.
We talked about Philly's coach. Mike McCarthy says that him going into a lame duck year is not a cool thing. What's your take on that? Does that matter even Will he be changed out no matter what? Is this going to be another new guy in there? Or because I think Jerry actually likes Mike McCarthy. And for the record, this will be the second year now with Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott. If they put up another superstar season again, they got to do it in the postseason. See, here's the Cowboys the last 8 years, Mark. They've won 4 division titles.
Yes.
Obviously not enough when it comes to winning in the postseason. Last 3 years, they won 36 ball games. But, dude, eventually you've got to sit here and go, where are you going?
I wish I could tell you something different. But this is just the way they do business. Big Marshall, man, you really are going after me, bro, looking like Leo Bridgewater. I wish I knew what the plan was here, man, with the Cowboys. But it's just like, let's continue to do things our way. Stephen Jones wants to win his way. He doesn't want to get into free agency. You know, we've got the same issues that we had at the end of the season and haven't addressed. The defensive line. We got Mozzie Smith, who had a shoulder surgery and hasn't been able to work out. He's cleared to actually practice, but we're relying on him as a starter. We go for aging running back, and we just sit here. And the crazy thing, here's the crazy thing, though. As far as Mike,
next to Malik Hooker.
Good question. Good question.
You don't have that resolve going into.
Well, let me go back to the Mike McCarthy situation here first, but real quick. With Mike McCarthy, here's what's actually crazy because so Philly, shut the fuck up.
That was so boring. They put you to sleep.
Here's the thing: if let's say that Nick Sirianni had gotten Jalen Hurts throwing 36 TDs with 9 interceptions, what would you think about him as a play caller?
Great,
fine, great.
That's exactly what Mike McCarthy did with Dak Prescott.
I know.
And when you sit here and look at this, where the Cowboys are 12-5, I know without the playoff success.
Medals for what? Doing your gig?
Well, it's better than what's happening with Nick Sirianni, where he got cut off at the knees because they sucked. That their offense choked. He at least got that part going good. And when you look at what,
if Nick was doing so good, why did they take his fucking job power away?
That's what I'm saying. They didn't take it away from Mike McCarthy.
I don't. But this isn't news. I mean, we know this from February. There was a problem with Nick Sirianni. I mean, we've all talked about it a million times. I mean, it is what it is. At least the Eagles did what they think they had to do to make the corrections. Now, whether or not the corrections are correct, time will tell. But they went out and they made corrections. They tried to fix the team and fix the problem. Whereas Dallas just keeps rinse and repeat. Great, Mike.
I can't argue with that.
He made Dak Prescott 36 touchdown passes. But Mike McCarthy, he's a choker in the playoffs too.
No,
let's face it.
No. Here's the real problem with the Dallas Cowboys, and this is it has been doing it for so long that even now the fans are repeating it. Okay, they always say Dak is not enough to win you a Super Bowl. And I'm going to say there's no quarterback out there by himself that can win a Super Bowl. We literally go through and say, well, Micah Parsons is selfish because he doesn't want to be an edge rusher and a linebacker. Listen,
if Joe Flacco can win a Super Bowl, Dak Prescott can.
And was it Joe Flacco winning it by himself? No, it was a team.
But Mark, what separates great quarterbacks, and Hertz is not this either. Purdy's not. We're going to find out about Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
The great quarterbacks, no matter what is on your team, talent-wise, coordinator-wise, there's no fall-off. When you don't see a fall-off, like here, the guy in Baltimore. Do you know the guy in Baltimore didn't have a receiver last year over 800 yards receiving? He didn't have.
Has he ever had one?
He didn't have a player with 1,000 yards rushing. They lost to tight end in week 10. He was the MVP, and they won 14 ball games with no 1,000-yard receiver, no 1,000-yard back, no 800-yard receiver or tight end, nothing. That's when you know you got someone that could carry your football team with lesser talent. Those are the quarterbacks that are worth their money in gold. The guys like Purdy, when a guy misses, what happens when Purdy missed Trent Williams and Debo?
The team 3 losses
fell apart. Dak has had lesser players on his team. You think he's the same player he was 3 years ago? He's not, because there's lesser talent on the team.
There's a lot lesser talent.
You look at Jalen. When Jalen had lost A.J. Brown in that playoff game, they shouldn't even got off the bus.
They were cooked already.
Ooh.
They were done before that. They were done before that game even started. It didn't
Probably
matter.
the New York game finished him off. You're right.
But
the reality is, listen.
Arizona game was horrendous too. It was already done for the Eagles.
What about Nick today and Howie coming out and endorsing Nakobe Dean and saying, now he wasn't in the starting lineup in the first crew today, but he was out there and got reps. What do you make of them saying that he's still going to be an impact on this team?
Well, I think they're trying to put some confidence out there for him. Maybe, maybe they like what they see. I have no idea. It's so hard to know what the depth chart is right now, because
there is no depth chart.
Right. You look. You have Devin White out there. You have Slay out there, and then they're pretty much starters, and then they're rotating everybody else in and out. So I mean, we're still feeling our way. The thing with Nakobe Dean is Nakobe Dean has to stay healthy. He has to stay on the field to really get some sort of gauge of what he could be. He's got to stay healthy. But I have no problem with Nick Sirianni or Howie coming out there and talking up a player. I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Aren't they supposed to have a feel for their player? And maybe he needs that. Maybe a good shot in the arm. Maybe that'll do him well. I don't know. So I have no problem with it.
Hey, Mark, who starts at center, Brooke Hoffman or Cooper Beebe?
I think Cooper Beebe is going to have a chance on that one. Unfortunately,
I think that's your best draft pick that you had this past day.
Yeah, right now we're hearing rumors that Tyler Guyton's not looking like he's ready to start, in which made it go to maybe our starting left tackle, and that's shit city. That's not good.
You think Dak Prescott is a 4,500-yard passer this year?
If he can get to 4,700 yards, he'll end up having the Dallas Cowboys record and can say, F you, I'm out. They're going to have to. He's going to have 4,500 yards, because I don't think the running game is going to do it. The only way you're going to have a decent running game is you're going to have to pass your way to set up the run.
Philly 500 is Saquon Barkley the best third down back you've had since Brian Westbrook?
That's tough. Brian Westbrook was great.
Because you had Shady in the middle in there.
I think Shady was really good too, man. Shady could do a lot of stuff. I'd probably say since Shady. I think Shady was a stud, man. He could block. He could catch out of the backfield. Shady could do it all. I think Westbrook was still, I would probably rate Westbrook ahead of Shady, only because of years played. They let Shady go 4 years too early. But if Shady stays with the Eagles, he probably got almost every running back record. So I think since Shady.
How about this one, Mark, for you guys? You think you guys at the running back combo this year could gain 1,500 yards between two dudes? Because if you can get 1,500 yards out of two dudes, that's going to be good enough, Mark, to get you play action pass for Dak to open some of those middle zones up for him. Because I do think he's a good passer, but he's got to have at least a resemblance of a run game. Last year, Tony Pollard gave you at least a threat. Wasn't a strong one, but it was a threat. You can't go into this year, and if you don't get 1,500 yards out of those combo guys, and that includes that relic you have in Zeke, I'm going to say this, man, that offense is going to struggle mightily because you still haven't figured out wide out 2, let alone wide out 3. Your tight end's better. Tight end's
a lot better. I think, Brandon Cooks.
In fact, he's been more consistent the last year than even Goddard.
Yeah. And it was only his second year, too, mind you. I expect him to have a great year right there. But I will also say, with the absence of C.D. Lamb not being there at camp, that Brandon Cooks has been able to get more time with Dak Prescott. And C.D. has been working with Dak at Dak's house. They've got a 50-yard field in his backyard and stuff. As far as the running game, Rico Dowdle is not a bad running back. His problem is he's been nicked up from time to time and getting Rico Dowdle. Oh, okay. But see, the thing with Mike McCarthy is Mike McCarthy doesn't real. You know what? I'm sick of y'all. I don't even. I was sitting here today, like I don't know why I'm even showing up in here because this is just Mark come in here to take abuse.
Like he works at Roscoe's, giving me waffles and chicken.
You can't get mad at me for not know. I never hear of that guy. It sounds like
Okay.
somebody from the bottom of Madden football. You know what I mean? You scrolled all the way down for free.
Rumors are that the Cowboys will make a move at a running back that gets released or a possible trade in training camp. The one thing I will say about the Cowboys, here's the one thing I will say about the Cowboys. It's kind of like they decide we're going to start going to work once training camp opens up. And that's when they usually start getting their deals done, and they will go through and they will sign some veteran guys, you know, names that you've heard of that are probably past their prime. So I don't think that the running back room that you see right now is the total running back room going through the season.
Mark's waiting for all season to begin during camp.
Is it me, Philly? Is it me? Does he sound depressed?
Oh yeah, I think Mark
definitely.
Doesn't he sound depressed?
Yeah, you sound very depressed. I actually feel sorry for him. I do. Like my heart is hurting for Mark because, like you know, like it's Eagles, Cowboys, it's go time, and he's defeated.
Well, but here's what I'm looking. Hey, I got nowhere to go but up. We got nowhere to go but up.
The guy he brings up is Rico Suave, the guy, right? Yeah.
Suave.
That's what.
So Ricky Ricardo
is our time up yet? Is our time up yet?
Hey, where's Lucy?
Hey, really, Ricky Ricardo's your running back.
I feel bad. I mean, listen,
Mark, I am.
Michael
I'm
Irvin.
feeling a little bit, you know, I'm being serious.
Maybe they're going to put maybe the front office.
I know a guy in Virginia. His name is Vinny Gubatz, and this guy will sit you down, and he's a diehard Cowboy fan. And you know what he does too every year?
What?
He drinks his sorrow too, just like you do. Every time January comes, he opens up a bottle of sorrow, and he says, I can't help myself.
I think the writing is on the wall.
Mark's an Eagle fan.
Listen. I think that maybe Michael Irvin's right. Maybe there's a plan. Maybe they want to blow this whole thing up.
Maybe they want to secure Sanders.
12 games in a row and still not win anything. At some point, it's going to go downhill. It's very hard to win 12 games.
Hey, Philly, him putting them cabinets in today, he must have hit his hand 4 or 5 times, man, because he was thinking of the Cowboys and how many times Dak's going to throw picks. Many times? I'd say this: he hit his finger at least 15 times.
Oh, poor Mark.
15.
I just come in here for comic relief.
I knew last night he was having problems when he started doing videos about steaks, about watching videos on making steaks. I said, "Oh, this guy's done. He's about to tap out."
Ricky Ricardo's going to gain 600 yards this year.
Mark was trying to make.
He who laughs last laughs the hardest.
We love you. I want you to know this. Listen, but hey, why don't you come on over?
No. Oh shit.
No.
Oh hell no.
He can't go.
Hell effing no.
You know what this reminds me of? A guy who's constantly calling up a chick, hoping that he gets the date with her. And she consistently just says, I like your friend better.
I will tell you a story here because I met my bride in college and fell in love with her right then and there. And she was like,
can't be a Cowboy fan.
She roots for the Cowboys now because of me.
She's a Redskin fan.
No, she's not a Redskin fan. She's never been one of those.
Fan, right?
No.
Eagles fan?
No.
Got to be an Eagles fan.
That's what we heard.
He would never admit that.
But
look at his face. You can only tell when Mark lies. He looks away.
That's what I heard.
It took me 18 years to wear her down. But I'm married to her now. Okay, I have patience. Okay. What is wrong with this guy, Big Marshall, man? Jeez, man. Kiss my ass, Big Marshall. But appreciate the super chats.
Jerry Jones looks like that guy on like Poltergeist when he knocks on the door and he goes like this. Is she home?
I don't know, Mark. Well, poor Mark. Oh,
All right.
It's
Hey,
okay.
Mark, listen,
It's okay.
Mark, I'll say this to you, brother. Look, when did they report?
They flew out yesterday. Today normally is the glory hole press conference, but that's delayed. Where Jerry, I want me some glory holes.
Sorry, I'm not sure what that
Okay,
means.
they always have their opening presser on Wednesdays, but unfortunately Jerry's tied up with the paternity suit, which actually got solved yesterday. So we don't know if that opening press conference is going to happen today or not. It's scheduled for Saturday, but the first practice is tomorrow.
What a mess, dude.
You can't write down this shit.
I know.
Make a movie.
It's crazy.
You can't.
awesome.
Wait a minute. As the Cowboy Kardashians turn here, they're showing up to training camp tomorrow, but they're going to be a little late because Dad, Jake Ewing from Dallas, has a paternity suit to figure out whether or not he knocked up a gumad in the toilet.
Oh, my God.
And that's his girl or not. Then they'll have a presser on Thursday where Jerry will go, I'd rather take a paternity test before I trade Michael Parsons. Who are you going to prioritize? I'm going to prioritize my unwanted daughter fourth. My sons are CD, Micah, and Dak. And then I'll get to that chick later. Hey, you got it going on. This is fantastic. Hey, you dropped in Glory Hole. You dropped in, what else did you drop in? You dropped in unwanted kids and a presser in the Cowboys and melting down into postseason. Bro, this sounds like a Cowboy year. That's rocking and rolling already.
We've got nowhere to go but up from here. Nowhere to go but up.
Forget Rico Suave.
The Dallas Kardashians.
I love it.
Tell me again why I agreed to come hang out with you guys on Wednesdays.
Nobody kisses ass like you, Mark. Ask Dak. Man, Big Marshall's on you, dog. Big Marshall.
He's all over you.
Are you still hanging on 12 wins?
I said 11.
11 wins.
11 wins, and I have you guys with 8.
Okay, I'll take that. I got 12 to 14 wins for us.
You have 12 to 14 wins every year. You had
every year
you had 14 to 15 last year. No, it didn't.
They were 10-1. What do you want from me? They were 10-1. I put them in. Listen, you
10-1. What did they finish at, Philly? What did they finish at, bro?
I know. I believe me.
Oh, come on, man. Listen, both of our teams sucked at the end of the year, bro. We both sucked.
My team is not on the same level as your team.
No, bro. You did everything you could. I've got Stephen Jones that I'm worried about my inheritance. I'm not spending any money on anybody.
You can't even adjust Dak Prescott's. All they had to do, Sills, was restructure, and they would have had $20 million in cap space. All they had to do was restructure his deal. They still could have given him a new deal.
Yeah.
They couldn't even get $20 million in cap space.
Philly, they didn't want to.
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. This whole thing with CDO, they want to pay CD. They don't want to pay CD. They don't want to pay Dak. They want to blow this thing
Mark,
up.
did you ever think that they only think one guy of those three guys is worth paying, and that's Micah?
I'm not sure they think that Micah's worth paying. There's rumors in the building that they look at Micah and say they would get the most compensation for him. And they don't have to do anything with Micah. But, because right now he's only a $5 million cap hit. And next year, he could be on his fifth-year option.
I'd trade him to an AFC team.
And you could get a couple of number ones for him easily.
Probably.
If you really believe in your quarterback, you're going to get that deal done with him, and you're going to get him his best weapon. That they've done neither. So
they don't ever do that though, Philly. You act like if it was only Dak Prescott they didn't do this with, I would say that's the case. But they use the franchise tag like it's going out of business, bro.
Why not restructure his deal and save yourself $20 million and go sign a running back?
Because hold on,
why couldn't they even restructure?
Let's back up here for a second. Let's go back to
the Cowboys trading Michael Parsons to the Steelers.
Let's back up here exactly what Stephen Jones says. You can say a lot of things about Stephen Jones, but he tells you exactly what he's going to do. If you have to go into free agency, you're paying top dollar for an average player, it means you messed up in the draft. And he will not. Just like last year when we didn't have any linebackers, he's not going to spend money to go get somebody that's a free agent. He's just not.
That's such a stupid thing.
Yes, it is, Philly. Thank you, Captain Obvious. It's stupid. It is stupid. We all know this.
And you're close to winning a Super Bowl, you go out and do what it takes to put your team over the edge. But they wouldn't even restructure Dak Prescott. Do you remember, Sills, if you back it up, let's talk about May. Remember in May, Mark was like, June 1st, the Cowboys is going to have all this cap space to go out and do things. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, there are things they could do, but they don't do.
And I'm not so sure that they're already the way they are, but I'm not so sure they're ready to blow this thing up.
Get this. This is why the Cowboys are in this position, Mark. Team with the number one cap space as of today. New England with 40. Mm-hmm. Washington with 36. Detroit with 35. Vegas with 34. Arizona with 33. San Francisco, believe it or not, with 30. Green Bay with 28. Philly with 25 at 8. Indianapolis at 9 with 24 million. And Tennessee at 10 with 23. Cowboys don't have any room to make these deals. They just don't have right now. You're not in a position to build a football team if you want to keep those three guys.
The thing is you don't seem to understand. They would actually gain cap space by doing Dak and CD.
They would by lowering the salary by giving them more on the guarantees.
Yes, but the Cowboys, you can go back to 2007 and look at Marion Barber when they paid him 53. You could look at Miles Austin. You could go down the litany, and what the Cowboys have always done is overpaid after one good year, and then they end up restructuring and kicking money down, and it's like a cycle that's been repeating. I think the Cowboys honestly look and say, we're better off taking that $55 million from Dak and getting rid of that this year. Just bite the bullet, get it over with and all that, and then we can start over from fresh. I think that's the plan. It may be that they're trying to go ahead and blow it up. And if they are, then they should just go ahead and blow it up right now to start the process. Get as few as wins as possible and get yourself in a position to draft next year.
Okay. This is going to be the final thing here. Jerry Jones, just a few minutes ago, has decided to drop the countersuit. There's a settlement.
That was yesterday.
Oh, it was yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I thought that he's come to an agreement, though, on a settlement for her.
Okay.
And there's going to be a settlement for with where she can't talk and say anything. And so there's a settlement and an agreement between the woman
Better not
and
be in
Jones.
New York. He could go to jail for that.
Well, no. The thing was,
go to jail for anything.
See, here's the thing.
Right, Mark?
Here's the thing was the suit. He was countersuing her, not to say that I'm not your father. He was suing her for breach of contract, and she was suing him and wanted him to take a paternity test. So basically yesterday they came to an agreement where he does not have to take the paternity test, and she dropped the case without prejudice. So that's where I was like she probably got some more money or something probably out of this.
Are we
to settle
talking
it.
Camp? All right, hey, Mark, do me a favor. Tell the great folks how. Yeah, hey, a settlement is CeeDee Lamb's contract.
Maybe that's where CeeDee Lamb's money went.
Absolutely. Look at this Guman. Hey, by the way, this whole thing went down in a toilet down there in Arlington, so it's all good. Hey, just like the season last year. Mark, tell the good folks where they can find
I'm not telling you Eagle fans where to find me. I get trolled enough as it is, bro.
Hey, I'd like
Joe
to
Booth Sports Reports.
Go ahead, Philly. Tell them where to find you, brother.
Just type in Philly 500. It'll come up. Or at Division Champs.
Dude, I feel bad for you today. You were like really defeated today.
After after I see them on the field practicing and seeing Dak throwing and Zeke running, I'll probably feel better. Next week I will definitely feel a lot better. I'm still wondering if I'm going to see you in 2 weeks from today.
Out of the room.
He's so depressed.
He's so depressed.
Give him a tissue. He's depressed.
Oh, hey, you got an issue, Mark? Here's a tissue.
Okay, coach.
Wait a minute.
Dude, I think you should just keep watching them making steak videos on YouTube, Mark.
Hey, you know the steaks are looking good.
Yeah, that's the only thing
won't lie,
cooking.
they
Your
do.
team ain't.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, I can't tell you how we appreciate you, dude.
Oh, I'm
you so
sure.
much, Philly, especially you as well, man. You guys are awesome. I'll tell you what you guys do has taught me a lot, especially how you guys do your shows. It's really fantastic. So make sure you check them out, guy. Philly 500 is absolutely killing it, and so is Mark. All the Cowboy fans, all I could just say to the Cowboy fans, I've got a therapist for all of you. I can help. Look at you. It's all good. Mark, honest to God, man, Vinny Gumbat's there in Virginia. You get on the couch there and you can drink your sorrows in January. It's all good, man. It's 86 proof. Love you, dude. Appreciate you doing this. I'll be on the horn with you after the show today. Thank you, my friend.
Peace out.
Peace out, guys. Make sure you guys check these guys out. These guys were sensational, as always. These guys are sensational at covering their respective teams.
All right.
Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show. Don't forget also, Xander Krause will join us at 4:30 Eastern Time.
That was painful. That was really, really painful. Those clowns are ridiculous. They don't want to let me on their show. Okay, CJ. Today was one of those ones where I just felt like not really being here. Jamal Griffin, can we hang out? Sure, buddy. I appreciate you guys as always. And we have nowhere to